Welcome back, everyone. This is Mondo all day, back to the video. And in this video, we'll be taking a look at the 2-pack, the Bizarro and Batzaro 2-pack. This is not from a particular storyline because there's nothing actually on the side in terms of what it's from. But I believe it's going to be from the Superman and Batman, or Batman and Superman like comic run, which I'll have an image of the comics so you can see what I'm referring to. But anyways, as always, I'll be talking about the figures itself in terms of the articulation, sculpture, and paint, and if it's worth your purchase or not. Before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support the channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So let's take a look at the box. Here's the front of the box looks like. The side. The back. The other side. Top. And bottom. Alright, now let's take a look at each figure outside the box. As always, you do come with a card. This is what the card looks like for Bizarro. The back of the card. Put this back here somewhere. Front of the card looks like for Batzaro. The back of the card. And for accessories, Bizarro does come with 2 open hands. Not much to it. Kind of has like the grayish kind of look. And again, just 2 open hands for Bizarro. That's that. And then for Batzaro, it does come with closed fists as well. Something we've seen before. Bizarro does come with his, if you want to call his necklace, whatever you call this. Here's the front of it. This is Bizarro number 1. Alright. A little flimsy here, the actual rope part. And it's a little detail actually on the rope, which I actually like. And there's the back of it. Looks like a stone type of thing. And it does come with this unique base, which I believe this is going to be the base similar to the 2-pack one. And Superman and I think, what's his name? I can't think of it. But I'll have an image to the right somewhere. You can see what I'm referring to, the 2-pack. It looks similar. I don't have that 2-pack base with me because it's actually in my storage unit. But it looks similar to it. And just showing you the detail on it. And pretty detailed on it. I do like the paint on here. You got the brown, a little bit of dark brown. And of course, a little white on here. Or whitish and gray. More right on there. Right. And there's the other side of the back side to it. Right. And then you can actually see the nipple right here. You can put one of the feet right there. And another one right here in the back. And I believe that's it. And here's underneath it. So it's pretty flimsy. So be careful because if you drop it, you probably will break it. So it comes with this and no puck stand. So instead of getting a puck stand, you do get this. So I prefer the puck stand, but it's okay though. Alright, now let's take a look at Bizarro. We'll start off with the articulation. So, left, right, up, down, shoulder. No bicep, but it's going to be elbow. It's a little stiff. And then elbow again. Wrist, it does articulate. Just mine is very stiff right now. Oof, I don't want to break it. It does articulate, not a whole lot, but there is some. And then torso. Ooh, I can move this right here. Ooh, not a whole lot. It does have the weird abdomen because, well, I'll talk about that in a bit. Torso. Ooh, man. This is a pretty stiff figure. Leg. Knees. Ankles. And, of course, toes as well. So, overall, the articulation on this figure, it's some good in some places. Others are just kind of, ugh. The torso, it has a weird abdomen torso. Now, if you're wondering, like, Mondo, why does it look familiar? It's because this is a repaint from the Dark Knight Returns Superman or the Collector's Edition Superman, which I'll compare it in a bit. And like I said, it's going to be a repaint. Obviously, there's going to be some subtle changes. Now, let's talk about it. One, a big change is going to be the headpiece. And I like this headpiece. Someone mentioned about it looks very like animated, cartoonish. And you know what? I agree with it. Something about it just looks cartoony, if that makes sense. And I really like it. One, you got the weird looking, creepy looking, but funny looking smile. You get the teeth on there, painted teeth, the painted lips on there. Then you have the chin right here, looks like a spiral on there. You got the big old eyebrows. They got the painted eyes. You got the slick black hair with the fade on there. Look at that. Nice stylized hair. There's the top of it, of the hair. It's just black. But this headpiece, though, it is creepy looking, but it works, though, because at the end of the day, it is Bizarro, so it works for Bizarro. And so, this headpiece, I think it looks good. The skin paint is going to be like a whitish, bluish type of paint. And something about it, I think it works well. It's weird looking, yes, but it works well overall. And the body, like I said, it's going to be the Superman Dark Knight Returns, so you get a really buffed out Bizarro. You get the big old shoulders, the bicep, the triceps. Again, we've gotten this figure, this repaint multiple times. Superman Returns, Dark Knight Returns, excuse me. And then we have the Collector's Edition, which I'll compare it in a bit. And of course, this one right here. We're going to have the Bizarro look, which is going to be flipped, so you can see that right there. And it's also matte paint, so keep that in mind. And then you have here the other side, it's going to be the same thing. And then the upper torso. And again, I mentioned about the abdomen. It's going to be the Dark Knight Returned abdomen, which is very, very thick and muscle-like. But it's weird articulation because it hits right here. So articulation is limited in the torso unless you can kind of squeeze this portion right here deep inside underneath the upper torso, which I don't know. I think you can, but you're going to force it. And I don't want to force it. And here we have the cape. I do like the actual Superman or Bizarro paint on there of the logo, which I like. I didn't expect that. And then you have the cape that we've seen before. It's going to have that matte red, a faded red. And of course, that like purplish, bluish kind of upper body paint. Base paint, I should say. And so overall, this figure, the upper body, I like it. It's, again, the headpiece. Something about the headpiece, it looks very cartoonish. But it works, though. I think with the whole upper body being so huge and massive and muscled, it works because it blends in. Like, again, this is a cartoonish headpiece, and it matches the whole cartoonish buffed out Superman body. So I like it overall. And I'll talk about the pricing in a bit. Then you have the underwear. Again, it's going to be Superman Returned underwear. So something we've seen before, right? Just going to be matte red. Then you hear the glutes. Yes, he does squats. Huge hamstrings. There is the back of the boots. Not much to it. Again, it's going to be a repaint of Superman Returns or Collector's Edition Superman. There's the side of the leg. Very thick thighs. Boots on the as well too. Got the design on here. The Wonder Woman design. The feet. And of course, thighs. Very huge muscle thighs. And the lower body is your typical spandex Superman. And so, overall, this figure, I actually like it. I think this works very well, having this buffed out Superman body. Because, again, this headpiece, it's one of those, when you see it in person, you're going to be like, this is ridiculous. But then you look at the rest of the body, you're like, it is ridiculously huge and muscle. And it blends in. So, I like this version of Superman, of this mold of this particular Superman, especially with Bizarro, because it works. Something about it just works. And for me, I really, really like it. Over the top, yes, but it works though. And I guarantee you, when you see it in person, you're going to be like, this is ridiculous. I want one of these. Now let's take a look at Batzaro. Now we'll start off with the articulation. So head, left, right, up, down. It's a little stiff. Shoulder. No elbow or bicep, I should say, but it does have that elbow swivel. And of course, there, it does have wrist. Not the greatest. And then we have, torso. I don't remember being this stiff. And I'll do a comparison on that one, because that's, I'll talk about that in a bit. Swivel. It's a little stiff. Wow. Leg articulation. There is thigh, so you can twist the thigh. Knees. Ankles. Come on. There you go. Just mine's a little stiff. And toes as well. So overall, the articulation on this figure it's better than Bizarro. I'll say that, but it's not the greatest. It's not horrible, but it is something that kind of you have to play with. And my particular version of this figure, it's a little stiff, so I will have to kind of play with it. Put some hot water and loosen up the joints. We'll start off with the headpiece. Consistency with the Bizarro. Batzaro has a weird skin tone paint, but also something about it just looks very animated. Even though it's going to be a Batman cowl that covers his eyes, but it works though, because that whole face right here, not the face, the chin, the smile, it looks very like animated and similar to Bizarro, but it works though. And so here we have the teeth on there, nice smiling teeth, really big smile on Batzaro. You got the painted teeth on there. There is no painted lips. You got the skin tone paint. It's not as bluish on this skin tone compared to Bizarro, but it's a little lighter. Then you have the Batman cowl. The Batman cowl is just very smooth, not much to it, but then again, that's how he looks like, which is fine. Then we have here the upper body. Now, in terms of the upper body, yes, it's going to be the Dark Knight Returns Batman or the Jokerized version of this particular figure. But there is a difference, which I'll show in a bit. So, regarding the headpiece, I like the headpiece. I think it's, again, it's not Bizarro. Yeah, it's Batzaro. So, it's just plain looking, just going to be the smile that's going to be different. But it's fine. In terms of the upper body, the arm, you get the huge shoulders, bicep, and tricep. Here we have the gauntlets, trigger hands, and again, it does come with closed hands. Here is the other side. Then here we have looks like there's a scuff mark on there, which, not a big deal for me, but it's fine. Now, here's the thing that people were upset about. It's going to be that logo, because you can see clearly right here, they just put some kind of material underneath it to fill in that gap in that hole, and they put the Batzaro logo upside down. And in a way, I do agree with people that it is a bit lazy. We're like, McFarlane, why couldn't you just make a new upper torso mold with just having it all in one piece and then have the Batzaro logo on it, as opposed to having the Dark Knight Returns logo underneath, and you can clearly see it even from a distance. You can see the logo underneath. But it's one of those, like, I don't know what to tell you. McFarlane did this. It is what it is, right? But here we have the Batzaro logo. It's just upside down, of course, matte black. You got the huge abdomen, chest on there. There is the cape on there. The cape looks nice. Very stylized cape. And again, it's going to be the Dark Knight Returns cape. So if you have Dark Knight Returns, well, there you go. I do like how the cape underneath is actually painted. It has like a matte greenish, bluish kind of paint. Actually, I like that. It's a little different. So, overall, the upper torso on this figure, it's not, in terms of the upper torso, it's not as good looking compared to the Bizarro, because the headpiece on this one's a standout. Then you have the logo, and then you get the actual Bizarro logo on the cape. It's a standout. And so this upper body on this figure, the headpiece, it's cool, but it's just, it's missing something. Does that make sense? Then you have here the issue right here, the Batman logo being filled in, and then, of course, the Batzaro logo issue. So it's just, it's not as eye-popping, or I don't know how you want to call it, but it's not as good as compared to the Bizarro. It's essentially what I want to say. But it's cool, but it's just missing something. Now, this is something that I did not notice in the images I saw until I actually got it out the box. It's going to be the utility belt, which is actually upside down, but it actually has here all of them open. Very subtle little detail that I missed when I looked at the images, and kudos to McFarlane, because not only did it upside down, but it also is consistent with the actual card. See, the utility belt is actually open, right? And here we have them also open too. So little details like that I like. So there's a utility belt, and I've always said it before, and I'll say it again. I do like how it's separated, not just one piece. They're all separated. See that? And it looks really, really good when you have light on it. There's the back of the utility belt, and wow, he does, oh my god. Damn, Batzaro, you've been doing squats and other hamstring workouts, because man, he, look at that. You can slide a credit card on there. But anyways, Here is the hamstrings. There is a calf muscle, very thick calf. Look at that, just very huge in muscle. The back of the boots. There is the side of the leg as well. Then you can have, there you can twist this right there. It's all one line. The side of the boot. There's the front of it. There's the feet, and of course, a very thick thighs for Batzaro. And so, overall, this figure, when you look at it as a whole, I gotta say, it looks cool. The headpiece isn't as standard compared to the Bizarro, but I do like the little detail on the utility belt and the paint on here underneath the cape, which is fine. But again, that logo, it's just like once you see this portion right here underneath, you can't unsee it. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is though. But again, overall, I like the figure. I don't like it as much as the Bizarro, but this one, I think it works. Of course, the main question is it really worth it? Should you go out and get this 2-pack? For the price for what you're getting for this 2-pack for 40 bucks, I think it's a fair price, honestly. It's not a bad deal. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad deal, but to be completely honest with you, for 40 bucks, I think it's a fair price. Honestly, I would just say maybe wait for a sale. Now, if you're a huge fan, if you like this whole cartoonish type of look, then yeah, definitely get it for retail, because 40 bucks for what you're getting, it's a fair price. I have a feeling this might go on sale because these figures, even though they're cool looking and oddly looking as well too, I can sense these might go on sale probably soon. I don't see these being a really huge seller, so your best bet is probably to wait a little bit, maybe die down a little of the hype, and then probably get it for maybe 35 bucks or something like that. So for 40 bucks, it's fair. If you can get it cheaper than that, then you're good to go. Apart from the price though, what I think about the figures, like I said, Bizarro, I think it works. Even though it's huge muscles and it is a repaint, I think it works with the whole cartoonish headpiece. Batzaro, it's cool. I do like the detail, the cape paint. I do like the headpiece. It's something's missing about it, but then again, it's how it looks. But I do like the detail, the utility belt. But the chest piece, though, that's going to be an issue. And again, once you see that little gap on there or that filler, it's difficult to unsee. So overall, what do I give this 2-pack? I give it a low thumbs up. I mean, it's nothing bad or anything. It's just one of those, if you're a huge fan, definitely get it. If not, wait for a sale. Here we have Superman. This is going to be from the Collector's Edition figure. And of course, Bizarro 2-pack. Like I said, it's going to be a repaint of this one. And this one's a repaint from The Dark Knight Returns. Just very muscle tone. But with the new headpiece, new skin tone paint, and of course, the actual Superman logo, which I wish this figure came with the actual Superman logo on here. That thing would be really, really cool, but there you go. It's just a repaint. So, just showing you, again, it's just a repaint of, oops, it came off the stand. There we go. Bizarro is just a repaint of this particular figure, and this one is a repaint from the Dark Knight Returns one. Here we have the Jokerized Batman Dark Knight Returns, and of course, Batzaro. Now, as I mentioned regarding the utility belt, you can see perfectly here what I mean. This one has the correct size, but also you notice all of them are closed. This was upside down, but it is open. Little details like that I appreciate and like, but that logo, you can see the underneath paint right here, or the actual filler, I should say. And as I mentioned, well, let me show you the torso. This one articulates. I don't remember it. No, it does not articulate. So, in terms of the torso, it is what it is with these particular Dark Knight Returns design. And as I mentioned, this figure is a repaint from this one, and this one is going to be a repaint from the Dark Knight Returns Batman. But here we have Jokerized Batman, Dark Knight Returns, and of course, Batzaro. Here we have Robin from, I believe it's Infinite Frontier storyline, and of course, Bizarro and Batzaro. I'm showing this figure because a lot of people, when this figure came out, a lot of people said the headpiece is very cartoonish, if that makes sense. So, now that you have two other figures that also have a headpiece that's kind of cartoonish, I think these three work very well for being a cartoonish, like, headpiece or design. So, that's why I brought in Robin, so you can kind of get an idea how these two cartoonish figures look next to another cartoonish-ish Here we have Owlman. This is going to be Owlman from the, I believe it's Forever Eve Stolen Line. I know it's going to be from the New 52 era of DC Comics, Owlman. But I want to show you two cartoonish-ish figures next to a more comic-accurate figure. And of course, Owlman. Great looking figure. Definitely a must-buy in my opinion. It just looks good overall, and I like this paint of Owlman. But anyways, I just wanted to show you a more comic-accurate figure next to two cartoonish-like figures. Here is Michael Keaton Batman next to Bizarro and Batzaro. And as you can see perfectly clear here, yeah, these still work very well next to each other. Like I said, when you have a more live-action figure next to these two, like, cartoonish-like figures, you can see what I mean when I'm referring to, like, cartoonish. So, hopefully this makes sense when I do a comparison of a more live-action figure next to these two figures. So, there you go. And since we're talking about weird-looking figures, I gotta bring in the one and only Captain Carrot. Now, shoutouts to one of my subscribers. Actually, someone mentioned to me these actually articulate, which I did not know. So, thank you for letting me know these do articulate in terms of the actual ears. But anyways, I wanted to bring in Captain Carrot because, come on, this works very well. Two weird-looking figures, cartoonish, next to Captain Carrot. Another weird-looking figure, but I think these three next to each other work very well because they're oddly looking. But again, it works well. So, here we have Captain Carrot next to Bizarro and Batzaro. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with me on these figures? Do you plan on purchasing these figures? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. This includes an overview of the 2-pack Batzaro and Bizarro figures, and on to the next one.